2019 is shaping up to be a great year with some great releases. I'm going to give you my first impressions of the new Dior Sauvage. Is it worth it? Stick around.
I finally found what I'm missing, and now you got all my attention. Driving me wild, got me wishing that you were all mine. You're irresistible, so refreshing. You're irresistible. Tell the essence. I can feel your energy all over me. Close my eyes and I breathe in. You're irresistible.
Today's money-saving episode is proudly brought to you by Dior. Nah, we're not sponsored by Dior, but I do hope that at least my opinion on this fragrance does help you decide if you need to spend the 120 or 150 bucks it is for what I would think should be like really savage or sauvage. Because it being a parfum, you would think that from EDT to EDP to parfum, that this would be the best performing, best one out of the park yet. Not the case. I have been testing this, well, and this is empty now, so I used it up, and shout out to my friend Chris from Casual Fragrances for sending this out. We will leave the link to his video. He actually did a battle with the EDT, EDP, and the parfum. You'll get plenty of information there. I'm gonna keep this kind of brief on my end because I am not super impressed with this fragrance, and the reason being is parfum should perform. It does not. The projection on this thing is like an hour and a half tops on my skin, where the EDT and the Eau de Parfum were like beast mode, 3 hours easily on projection. This one, like I said, maybe an hour and a half top on projection, and then performance, yeah, you're getting maybe 6 to 7 hours, but it does fade to a faint skin scent in about 4 hours. That's subpar in my opinion with this being a parfum. Now it's said that it was added some new type of bergamot, some new type of, I think it was blood orange if I'm not mistaken, but it was supposed to be a more citrusy Dior Sauvage. I do get the citrus in it in the opening. You don't have that scratchy metallic kind of stingy, if you will, opening that the EDT and EDP both are kind of known for. It's something that you learn to get past, but it does get a little redundant. And that's why I was really excited about this when I first smelled it. The opening is very well rounded. You get some nice tonka in there. You get some nice sandalwood. You get some vanilla. It's very well rounded. That harsh opening is not there at all. The mids are really nice, but they come in at about 30 to 45 minutes. And after that, it just starts falling into a skin scent. And like I said, about 4 hours, it's like a faint skin scent. I think the actual longevity of this the performance on this fragrance was like 6, 7 hours tops, and that was a faint skin scent. My next beef with this fragrance is the compliment factor. I'm going to be straight up with you. I bought the EDT the week that it came out, and I was really excited about it because nobody else smelled like it, but it did get a bit redundant when everybody started wearing this fragrance. That does deter me, but I do like my compliments. And with me living in the South, we get lots of compliments down here. But this one, if they can't smell it on you, you're not gonna get complimented. I got one compliment. Obviously, I didn't get to go crazy and savage while I was spraying this like I normally would, but in a reasonable amount, I did get one compliment from a female that hugged me. She was very close up. She said, "You smell fantastic." That was it. But after, wearing this as much as I could before it ran out, normally with a fragrance like this, I would get more compliments than that. We will take into consideration that I didn't do like the mad spraying like I normally do. Yeah, I do overspray a bit. But at the same time, Parfum concentrate, you wouldn't think you'd have to spray as much, right? Not the case for this. Too expensive, not worth it. That's just my thoughts on it. And when it comes to cost and you're talking about the EDT and the EDP, you can basically buy one or the other of them, probably almost 2 bottles of one or the other of those to compensate for 1 bottle of this. If you own the EDT or the EDP, you do not need the Parfum. If you own the EDT, you don't need to own the EDP, and vice versa. If you've got one, you've basically got your bases covered. My favorite one is the Eau de Parfum, but that don't mean you need to buy that if you have the EDT. They are a bit redundant. They are a little bit, not much difference between them. If this had stayed, even if it was just linear from start to finish with the opening, the way that this worked, where you get the nice creamy sandalwood and vanilla and tonka bean with the little bit of those extra added citruses of the orange and the bergamot, this would have been a stellar release. It is a bit of a disappointment and it is overpriced. That's gonna wrap it up for today with Dior Sauvage Parfum. If you're not subscribed to Carolina Fragrance Reviews and you enjoyed today's episode, make sure that you subscribe, hit that notifications bell, smash that like button, leave us some comments, and we'll see you next time on Carolina Fragrance Reviews.